Here with the very talented Jeremy Strong
Thank
today. Saw the film last night at the screening. Great film. A little different than I expected.
Yeah.
In a very good way.
Yeah.
I was delighted. I like the use or lack thereof of the fourth wall, breaking that down to help connect, because not the average viewer is going to get a lot of what's being said or what's going on in the film. How much of it did you understand, or were you aware of it before getting involved in the project?
I really knew nothing about any of this, and I think, you know, what you're saying is so great, because I think what Adam Mckay really wanted to do was to, assuming that our audience really is a blank slate, and, you know, most people, a lot of people will know a lot about this, but for me and most of us making the movie, we were all blank slates. We didn't know anything about it, and I think he wanted to find a way to tell this story to us in a way that was simple, that broke it down to its sort of, you know, the molecular elements of what happened in a very emotional and I think entertaining and kind of edge of the seat kind of way, in a compelling way that tells this story of the housing crisis, but also a story about kind of this moment in time that we're all living in as a country.
Absolutely, and like you said, he broke it down, made it simpler for the audience, but without
dumbing it down.
Yes,
It's not condescending to the audience at all. It's really just kind of looking the audience right in the eye and saying, look, we don't really understand this either. It's really complicated stuff to understand. Let's all go on this journey together so we can understand what the hell happened and how we got into this.
And what kind of preparation did you go through? Did you have any input from any of the players, let's say the actual players in the story?
I did. I
meet with any of them?
I did. You know, I'm kind of a research junkie. I love that part of it. I love learning about the world of the film that you're making, and so there was a lot of really great books to read, and you'd be surprised they're not dry. And there's really entertaining, great books about this stuff. And Wall Street, because it's such a high-stakes world, is a fascinating world anyway. But I also wanted to go and spend time, you know, sort of on trading floors and at hedge funds, and I spent time with the character I played with Vinny at his hedge fund in New York. You're both trying to understand as best you can the concepts and the, you know, what you're talking about, but you also are trying to understand the kind of just, it's more about kind of finding the energy and the flavor of the world, the texture of the world, and the behavior, and, you know, how they talk and what they act like, and so that was very interesting and exciting.
So did you feel a sense of responsibility?
Oh yeah, you feel a huge sense of responsibility, both to tell an important story like this, but a huge sense of responsibility when you're playing a real person, a living person, because you're representing that person to the world, and it's a very heavy responsibility, actually. Vinny saw the movie, he said you nailed it, so that was, you know, that made me very happy.
Yeah, well, you're a very different persona from the one sitting in front of me. Best and worst part about making the film?
The best part was just getting to be on the set with all these other great actors. And, you know, while you're making it, you're not really watching them, but sometimes you go and watch playback at the monitor, or you're kind of aware of what they're doing. And that's always, you know, I love great acting, and I am such a huge admirer of these actors who are in the movie. So that was great to get to sort of be on the same team as them. The worst part, I think, was the lessons that I learned. Was learning about the kind of irresponsible behaviors that were happening on Wall Street that I think are still very predominant, and a kind of you know, these behaviors that really endanger the rest of us, and that was really frightening.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for
Thank
taking
you.
the time to speak with us.